say y equals to ax squared. Okay, maybe for example like this, y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, right? Okay, let's say if I give you, let's say if you know that a is positive, right? What can you tell about the shape of the curve? Happy face or sad face? Happy face. So it will look something like that. Okay, another thing now is from this kind of graph, right? What if I ask you to sketch? Okay, so you know that y equals to x squared. For example, I give you something like this, plus 2. Okay, how do we sketch a curve like that? Okay, what we can do is this. Okay, so if you imagine y, we can also think about, let's say if we sub. Okay, first I know this is a happy face, right? Okay, I know it will look like this. Next thing I can do is I can sub y equals to 0. If I sub y equals to 0, if I sub y equals to 0, what will happen? Then this will become 0 equals to x squared minus 3x plus 2, right? Then here, okay, I can factorize. This will become x minus 1, x minus 2 equals to 0. This means that x equals to 1, x equals to 2. Okay, what does this mean? This means actually 1, where x equals to 1, y is 0, right? X equals to 2, y equals to 2. So I can do this. 1 comma 0 is a coordinate of the graph. I can also say 2 comma 0 is a coordinate of the graph. What does this 1 comma 0, 2 comma 0 mean to you? Actually, right, let's see if I drop the x-axis, right? The x-axis is also like y equals to 0, right? That means what are the intercepts? This intercept also means that y equals to 0, right? That means these 2 points, right? Actually, where do you think they lie on the graph? Correct. So actually it's these 2 points. So this is 1 comma 0, 2 comma 0. Yeah. So this is the line where y equals to 0, right? Then let me just ask you, okay, for this portion, for this region of the graph, right? For this region of the graph, right? Your y value, right? Do you think this y value, is it negative or positive? Negative, because below the x-axis, right? So it's below x, so actually y is negative. How about this region? Positive. So you can see that y here, this region y is positive, right? So actually this, you can see I'm using some inequality symbols, right? Less than 0. So actually it's possible to solve quadratic inequality. So that's the purpose of today's lesson. We are going to solve quadratic inequality. So a quadratic inequality is an inequality in which involves a quadratic expression in one variable. Okay, an example involves like this. Maybe say it involves something like this: x squared minus 3x plus 2, example, less than 0. Okay, how do we solve a question like this? Okay, what you do, actually we just treat it like a quadratic equation. So example, maybe I just say, example, you can see I sub y equals to 0. Okay, you can see that here if I factorize this, right? Okay, this is like solving x minus 2, factorize x minus 1 less than 0. Okay, next thing I do, I sketch the graph. Imagine, you can see that if I were to solve, right, maybe x minus 2, x minus 1 to be equals to 0, right? I'm going to get x equals to 1, x equals to 2. And this will give me the function, the graph to look like this: 1 comma 0, 2 comma 0. Okay, and where will this y value so-called be negative? Okay, are you able to identify the region for which y is negative? It's actually from where to where? Below the line. Okay, so over in this region, right? Okay, so here your y is negative, right? Correct? Can you tell me in this region what are the range of x values that we are referring to? What are the x values? So here, what are the x values that lie in this range? Looking at this number line, right? Where is x between? 0 to 2. X is here, remember the first line?
1
to 2. 看得到吗? So here, right, in this portion, when y is less than 0, x is between 1 and 2. So that's the inequality. So very quickly, The next one I'm going to try to set to this idea. Whenever we solve x, maybe I just factorize x minus a. Okay, let's say I don't use a. Sorry, I use your favorite x minus alpha, x minus beta. Okay, so when I want this to solve this to be less than 0, okay, the next property looks like that. It means that if I were to draw it out, okay, this is my graph. Okay, this is my x-axis. These two, right, will be my x-intercept. Okay, from there I say, for it to be less than 0, that means I want this will be my y value, right? That means I want my y value to be less than 0. So this is the graph that we want. So from here, actually, for y to be negative, this means that x is between alpha and beta. Okay. So yeah, this is the idea. Then similarly, right, if I want it to be positive, next thing I draw again, like that. Alpha and beta, right? X minus alpha, x minus beta, quadratic, okay, because power 2 inequality. If I want it to be positive, what's the solution set? The solution set over here is just x must be, so you can see that where is the region? It's here, right? And here. So over here, what is this region for x? X is negative. X is negative. X is alpha. So over here, if we use inequality to represent this stretch of values, right, it's actually x is less than alpha. For x less than alpha, can we say that the y is positive? Can how? For x more than beta, can we say that the y is positive? Can how? Yeah, that's the idea. And from here, so this is the solution. That whenever we are solving for our quadratic inequality to be positive, the solution set is just x less than alpha or x more than beta. Okay, and this is how we solve our quadratic inequality. You notice that I always use a smiley face. But is it possible that we can end up with a sad face? Possible. So maybe let's say if I ask you to solve an inequality and you say negative coefficient, maybe negative x squared plus 3x plus 2, okay, more than 0. Can I change this to a happy face?
Times negative.
Very good. I times negative 1. So what I do is I just times negative 1. Wow, actually you are so smart. Okay, so this one just becomes x squared minus 3x minus 2 less than 0. And then I solve. Happy face. Okay, so every inequality can be converted to a happy face. All with just your work. Okay, okay. First example look like that. Okay, so example 1. My computer suddenly no battery. So I use this one. Okay, but I also can record. X squared minus x minus 6 less than 0. Okay, x squared minus 6x minus 6 less than 0. Okay, number 1, what I do is simply I sketch the graph. Okay, I sub y equals to 0. Okay, and then I get my two intercepts. So intercept negative 2 and 3. I sub this. Okay, I solve. If I solve this to be equal to 0, right? When y equals to 0, x equals to negative 2 and 3. Okay. After that, I draw my graph. This is my x-axis. This is my graph. Negative 2, positive 3. When will it be negative? It's actually in this region. Right? Can you see? My y is negative. When y is negative, what are the range of value for x? X is from where to where? X is between? So negative 2 and 3. But let's say I play bunk a bit. I put inequality sign, I put equal sign here. How will you change the answer? Means I also include equal 0. How will you change the answer? If this one equals, it means this one can be 0, right? Your y can be 0. So what will happen to the answer? It means this one also can be 0, right? Can be 0, right? How will the answer change?
X is bigger than 0, smaller than 0.
Smaller than 0. Greater than, equal to -2. This one, x is lesser than equals to 3. Because you can include these 2 points. Oh, so if I draw a number line, it looks like this one, like here to here. Like that. Oh. Like that. Okay, can. Similarly, okay, now I want to solve greater than 0. Okay, so can you tell me quickly from part 2, are you able to tell me what's the answer? From this graph, are you able to tell me what's the answer? For x, okay, I show you the graph now. This is the graph, right? Okay, I just show you. This is x-axis. This is the graph. Y equals to x squared minus x minus 6. This is -2. This is 3. Can you tell me the solution for this? This is where it's positive, right? So over here, that means for x less than this number, right, your y is always positive, right? For x more than this number, your y is always positive, right? So what is the range of value for x for which this graph is positive?
-2 to 3.
-2 to 3. -2 to 3 can see it's underneath. It's here underneath. So what's the range? I want the green portion or the blue portion? Green portion. How do you represent this green portion on the for x?
Less than 2.
X less than
-2.
-2. Here,
X more than 3.
very good.